So for this activity, you'll be trying to create the Roman Colosseum. So you'll need 2 pieces of cardboard, preferably large pieces, some glue, some tape, a pencil, a ruler, a scissors, and then coloring pencils and paint also, and of course your imagination. So you need your base piece, okay, and then you need another piece that might actually be a little bit bigger, because this is going to be wrapped around in a circle to form your Colosseum. Okay, now my cardboard is quite thick, so it's hard to wrap it. So the thinner cardboard you probably will have, the better for this part, for making your Colosseum. So you can see as I wrap it carefully, it's very hard to get a nice circle. So when I do, you can see it's okay. It's not perfect. I need to tape it, but it's far too tall. I need to cut it. I need to make it a bit shorter, okay? And the Colosseum didn't have a perfectly flat top. There were parts that broke off. So I'm going to, using my scissors, I'm going to cut it to make it a bit shorter. So I'm going to maybe half that size. So now if I just try that, you can see it's not so big now. Okay, the bigger the piece you have, the bigger your Colosseum will be. So it can be small, if small is absolutely fine, but you can make a big one as well. But again, Colosseum did not have a flat top. It kind of broke down on one side. Just like this. So this is the real Colosseum, and you can see that it's not flat on top. So I need to draw that with my pencil. So I might draw something like this, and then I have to cut that out. So now I've cut it out, and if I wrap it around and I make my circular shape, it's a bit better. It's a bit more like the Roman Colosseum actual shape. You can look it up on Google if you're not quite sure what it looks like, okay? Now I still don't want to stick it together because I have to put my designs on, okay? This time, because there's different layers, we would need arches here and then on the next one, and it's going to be too hard to cut them out, so then we're going to draw them this time. So again, you can just use your eyes and think, where should I put them? But I'm going to try to be very accurate. I'm going to use my measuring tape, and this is 55 centimeters long. So 55 centimeters, okay? So that means I know that in my 11 times tables, 55 divided by 11 is 5. So that means every 5 centimeters, if I mark it, I could have an archway, because when we look at pictures of the Colosseum, it's got archways and pillars all the way around. Okay, now I need to make it a little bit smaller than that because I need to have my pillars in between. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow where I've done my mark, and I'm just going to draw some small archways like this, just in between my marks. I'm going to try and keep them all around the same size. I've drawn them on the first layer. I've gone a bit fast, so they're not all exactly the same, but it's pretty good. And then I'm going to do that on another layer. So I might draw, again, I don't have a ruler, so I'm going to use some cardboard to try and draw a straight line. I'm going to leave a gap, draw a straight line. So now I'm going to have another layer of archways. See, now I have put archways, 1, 2, 3 layers of archways all the way to the top. Okay, now what we can do is we can color these in. You can color them in black, like it's shadow, so maybe the bottom ones are darker because it's going to be more shadowy, but up the top it might be blue because you might be able to see the sky. So if you're at home and you've got paint, you can paint them black and blue, okay, to show the different parts. So the higher ones would probably be more blue. You can do maybe one black, one blue, or a few, you decide. But the bottom ones should probably be black, and you're going to color them in to make them look really, really nice. Okay, I'm not going to do that right now, but I will show you at the end what it will look like. The next thing I need to do then, once that's finished, so you've got your outline, you've drawn your arches, you're going to paint them or color them. You then need to make sure you wrap it around carefully in that circular shape. Okay, so we've got it in our circular shape. So then we need to make sure it's secure. So we're going to tape it together, glue it together securely. And then onto your base as well, you're going to put it and make it secure. So I've taped mine together. You can see I did a very bad job because I'm trying to go really fast. But what I did is I wrapped the tape on the front and then around and back again. But you can do a much neater job because look how bad that is. Mr. Friendly, that is not very good. Okay, but it is secure now, so I can leave it down and it will stand. But we just now need to tape it to this base. So I'm going to put my tape side, down and under just to have it secure. So that is now secure. You can see, I can hold it up and you can see my Roman Colosseum. But remember, I haven't done the detail and the painting and the colors. You need to do that first before you stick it all together. You can also paint the bottom bit or color the bottom bit and maybe green for grass, or maybe it was quite dusty when we looked at the video early last week of what it might have looked like outside the Colosseum. If you've got cardboard like this, it's quite hard to color on it, so it might be a good idea to cover it in paper and then add your colors. But the detail then would be the color, so the dark archways at the bottom for shadows. So make sure that's done before you stick it. Look how bad this is. You don't do this. You can do this much better than I did. And then maybe you could have some blue in at the top as well, okay? Then inside the Colosseum, there's also some more details. So I'll just show you now what you can put inside. So here's an example of what your finished Colosseum will look like. It's much better than how I started because this person went a bit slower than I did. But you can see the details inside, so we'll try and add those now. So what I've done is I've got small pieces, as you could see in the picture. And they can just slot inside, so you can just slot them. And if you do this accurately, you won't even need to stick them. So I've tried to make sure you can see it is holding in place perfectly. I don't even need to tape it because I've made it the right size. And I'm going to add my other ones. And so I've got 3 in total. So you can see when I show you on the camera, these 3 are holding in place. One is falling over a little bit, so I need to fix that. If you need to, you can use tape or glue to hold those in place, but you might not need to if you do it really, really well. So that shows you what was under the Colosseum, was where there are different passageways where they kept the animals and the gladiators. And then the last thing we need, as you saw in the pictures, we need one little stage area at the front. Okay, so let's add that also. To do that, you need a piece that is going to fit across your Colosseum, and you need to make it like a semicircle. So I'm going to see, will this fit? It might not fit. Yeah, it might work perfectly. So I'm going to see, will it fit? And I think that's a pretty good job. Now, I could stick it, I probably should stick it down, but you can see what it might look like then. So this should be the very, very last thing you've done after you've done your design, put it all together, colored, painted, and then you will have your finished Colosseum should be like this, but even better with all the colors and designs, and then you'll have your amazing Colosseum built and complete just like this. Ta-da! So there you go, year 4. That is how you make your Roman Colosseum. Good luck with all your creativity.